Monday! Monday, Monday,
Monday.
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 Trying to bring
Monday.
that Monday energy, you know? Somebody's got to do it.
Mondays.
Mondays, am I right? Okay, Garfield. How you
Happy
doing, Garfield?
Mondays. Garfield, what are you doing here? Oh my god. So sorry.
Speaking of Garfield, but not actually, because it's completely unrelated. It's my younger brother's birthday today.
It's your
He is
little
now
brother's birthday?
an adult. He's a full-blown 18-year-old adult now. So,
Oh, how does that feel?
uh,
How does that feel to you?
I just feel like I saved my parents a lot of heartache by dropping out of college, because this would have been their 25th wedding anniversary, my brother graduating high school, and me graduating college all at the same time. That's just too much, man.
But are
So,
you graduating college now?
no, not all on the same day. I'm saying
Oh, I
like
see.
within a couple months of each other. Yeah.
I see.
His
25
graduation
years.
and ours would have been like a couple years, or sorry, a couple weeks apart.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot.
No, it's a fun time. Val says your brother is Garfield. The secret's out.
That's right. Garfield is now 18.
Loves his lasagna. That guy.
Cannot get enough of that lasagna.
What up, Mateus? What up, Adiyinka? What up, old kid? Glad to see ya.
I am so dang curious what we're talking about today.
Yeah. Let me fill you in. Let me go ahead and pull up this little thread that I saw last week that I figured would be happening and fun to talk about on the stream. Let's go over to my screen, shall we? TJ Kearney, for those of you that don't know, is a producer at Work & Co. He may very well be the founder of Work, director and content, sorry. But he was on the producers panel at Dash Bash, which Noah and I went to a couple years ago. And he was a nice guy. He was very, very candid. Some of the other talks were kind of campy and whatever, but he was very, like, on it, you know? He wasn't really pulling any punches. And he doesn't really use social media a whole lot, but when he does, it seems to be for something important. So when I saw that he made this whole thread about just his thoughts on the industry right now, including layoffs and projects getting canceled and all that turmoil that some people are experiencing right now, I figured we should just chat about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and read through it, and then
Sounds exciting.
we can talk all about it. Also, because he has a positive outlook at the end, so that's fun.
Oh, huzzah.
Happy joy for your Monday. Here we go.
All right, let's get into it.
For everyone asking what's happening in the industry right now, layoffs, canceled projects, etc., what you're feeling is the trickle-down effect of poor vision and poor management from company leadership. A thread on the current state of things with a positive outlook. COVID saw a spike in users as we were all trapped indoors in the context of tech companies. This was a boom for tech/content that saw companies hiring with reckless abandon. The sudden influx of cash flow resulted in many companies losing sight of their original missions as they prioritized profit. It also meant that they were hiring faster than they could generate a long-term plan for. Reactive decision-making is the death knell for any company and the trap that most business owners fall into in times like these. Fast forward to today, and these leaders point to recession and economic turmoil to justify massive layoffs, but the truth is, consumer spending is actually increasing. Instead, what we're seeing is a dip in users or viewers as everyone has re-emerged into the world. This should have been a very obvious reaction to being trapped indoors for so long, something everyone should have been planning for and been prepared for, something no one actually prepared for. The lack of vision and the reactive decision-making is now coming full circle and being felt on the other end as companies make massive cuts, yet again without a long-term plan in place. The more you peek behind the curtain, the more you'll find that layoffs were decided on a spreadsheet without any thought put into the impact they would have on the product or team remaining. Worse, in almost all cases, there was no pass-off plan in place. This is where the trickle-down effect really comes into play. What you are feeling today is the impact of the internal chaos as the employees still on staff try to wear multiple hats and understand their new role. There is a general lack of clarity internally on who can approve scopes, what can be handled internally, what external budgets are approved, etc. The upside for freelancers and studios that can hold out a bit longer is that these companies all slash their internal capabilities to cut overhead. The need for everything that was previously being created internally still exists and has even grown, but they no longer have the ability to execute. This means that once the dust settles, they are left with no choice but to be reliant on external partners. My outlook is that budgets will be tighter than they were the last couple years, but the opportunities will increase later this year. Thoughts?
I think that's a very thoughtful outlook.
Rather apt, I would say.
I say rather apt. He points to the like more people want to go out and less people want to be online, which I mean I feel like that's very predictable. But sometimes you can miss it in the panic. You know what I mean?
Well, and because humans are very adaptable creatures, so despite in the relative scheme of things, it was a short amount of time that we're all very, very virtual, and certainly some things will remain that way. I think we all kind of got used to that just being the normal thing, so a lot of people wouldn't have been expecting a return to the outdoors as much. And I don't really know how to necessarily define that, because I know that wasn't something that I had thought about before at all. And as someone who is just so focused on review all the time, isn't as applicable to me. I feel like I'm not necessarily yearning to get out any more than I was whenever we were like really in lockdown or whatever. But I don't know. I still think that definitely does have an effect. But for us, it's also been for the positive, because we did lots of work with tech companies to make explainer videos or brand films or whatever during COVID. And I mean, that's when we started Revie. But the big boom for us has been from events, like people going and actually doing in-person events. And also like now we're growing a community. Like that's a big focus for us. I feel like we're already kind of aligned on that, but just never really recognized that as much. We're just like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. Cool, let's do this.
We're accidentally amazing.
Olgerd says, TLDR, less money, touch grass.
That's funny, touch grass.
Basically, yeah.
So true, so true.
In Motion says...
You touched...
No.
Well, at least you looked at some grass yesterday.
I did. I went to a baseball game with Belle, and boy, do I wish they had a major league team here, but it was still fun. I ate a foot-long corn dog. It was great.
I was a foot-long corn dog.
It was great.
It was it?
Yeah, it was.
That is...
It's good. I also had funnel cake.
You had funnel cake?
I went from Oak Steakhouse the night before and like really well thought through meals and just like fresh ingredients and whatever to funnel cake and footlong corn dogs the next night. I got both ends of the spectrum.
Contrast.
You got to do it.
That makes each of them better.
It was great. Kathy says, you guys had a big boom of doing animations for events. Oh yeah. Starting like August of last year, that was like the majority of our work for the end of the year. And still now, I'd say that's a majority of the work. Even though like we have a project right now that turned into just a normal brand film that's going to be put out online, but it started because they were going to try and get it done for an event, but they couldn't get the sign off in time. So now it's just going to be an ad instead, which is fine. But the other project that we're doing right now is for an event that's actually happening this weekend, and there's a whole funny story around that. But that's for another time, once the dust has settled a little bit. But anyway, figured that would be fun to chat about with everybody. I don't really have a whole lot of other takeaways for that. I do find it really interesting to think about how like a lot of the layoffs we were seeing were just completely destroying marketing teams from within those companies. It is a good point to think that like, where are they? Who are they going to go to when they do need to spin that back up? Because as much as like a recession or economic issue can cause lots of industries to have problems, people will always need to advertise, especially now. Like that's the only way to get through it, is for people, especially if it's not an essential product or something. So I don't know. I feel pretty good. If we've already been having, I mean, we know this. If we've already been having the year we've been having, like this is on track to be best year yet. Again,
Mm-hmm.
We're chilling. We're having a good time.
As it should be. We keep growing, and learning.
And we have to.
This is gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic.
It's the only way.
It's the only way.
But anyway, that's that on that for me. What did I have next on this list? Oh yeah, I just wanted to talk. We missed April Fools. It was a weekend. We didn't plan anything for the show or anything because of that. But I certainly saw some really fun April Fool's pranks, and I know that we've also experienced some in years past that I just figured would be fun to talk about. So I want to hit you with this one that I actually got pranked with this morning, because sometimes I can swipe to the right on my homepage and then have I can have like some Google News story show up, but it's basically tabloid. Like Google News is terrible on my home screen. It's all clickbait and whatever. But sometimes I go through there and it's also delayed. It's like how, things will show up on Facebook like weeks after they were popular. It's the same sort of vibe. So I'm getting April Fool's stories now
Today.
2 days after April Fool's. It's crazy that we live in a world where like I totally thought this was real. I was like, oh my God, how is he doing that? So there's apparently dozens of publications specifically for airlines and airline news, and all of them got together to put the same story out that Elon Musk was buying American Airlines, that he was buying the majority stake, that he was going to get 51% of American Airlines. And immediately a ton of thoughts start going through your head because you're like, oh my God, Twitter and now American Airlines? Like, this dude's going to own everything and it's going to be terrible. Like, you're going to just like thinking of the ramifications that could have was just putting
pre-check. You now have to
pay $15 a month and a blue check mark on Twitter.
You have to be Twitter verified to have that.
It's terrible. But anyway, I saw that and I kept seeing so many stories. I was like, I gotta look this up. And I looked it up and I kept seeing more publications. I was like, oh my God, is this real? This is terrible. And I saw that it was published on April 1st. And I'm like, this has just gotta be terrible coincidence. Like there's so many of these putting it out. And then I start reading the publication. And that's when I knew, because one of them.
You have it pulled up?
No, I don't. I couldn't find it. But one of them in particular had said that in continuing with the pattern of buying companies that have birds in their logos, Elon Musk is to acquire 51% of American Airlines today. And then, a bunch of other satirical comments and such. But I love that I was just so like awestruck that I was like, oh, yep, this is totally feasible. This man could do this. I don't know how he got the money to be able to buy a majority share in this company as well, since he just spent $44 billion. But who's to say? I don't know. I don't know how that works. But that was, I think, the funniest one that I saw, and very well convincing. Like all of them had to coordinate that,
I think that saying some shit about like Elon's gonna buy this or Elon did this is the most convincing April Fool's prank, because that man's unhinged.
Everything he does feels like an April Fool's prank.
It does. So that's a really good choice from them. And I still remember the time that we got a little pranked by the big studio saying that they were merging in the motion design industry. And I was like, what is going on? You texted me and you're like, oh my fucking God.
My whole world was falling apart that day. I was like, this is unfair, man. Right, and for context, that was the other one that I was going to mention. So that's good. A couple, like 2 years ago, Oddfellows, Gunner, Ordinary Folk, Giant Ant, Buck, a bunch of other studios all got together and decided it would be hilarious on social media to say they were all coming together to form one giant corporation for motion that day. And Noah and I were like only 6 months into having launched Ruby, and we're like, well, shit, I guess that's it. All right, pack up your bags. How are you going to deal with that? That's impossible to defeat that giant. And then I just completely forgot it was April Fool's that day. So later that day, they all started going, haha, joke's on you. And I was like, ha.
Joke was.
Oh, man.
Absolutely honest.
The egg all over my face. It was terrible. Val said Elon requires Ravi for 4 nickels and 8 buttons.
8 buttons.
He just had some extras in his pocket.
Deal.
Oh, it's his daily motion show turning into daily economy show. Somebody's got to do it. I don't know.
Talk about it.
In Motion.
Talk about it.
In Motion says you both don't have experience with cell 3D or characters, but you have good animation. Is all the secret in the keyframe?
That's right. I mean, we have
The
tiny bit
easing
experience
more
with
so
some of
than
those
the
things.
keyframes,
But-
but
Yeah.
yeah, I did frame by frame originally, and that was just because I was too scared to learn After Effects. So I was just like making tiny changes in my Photoshop document, exporting those as PNGs, and then putting them all together in Windows Movie Maker. So then After Effects was suddenly really easy. After going through that horrible process,
You start really difficult, and
everything's easier.
everything else is gonna be easy.
Shocker. Who would have guessed on that one? Impossible to predict.
Jacob says, "Please tell me the Pepsi rebrand was an April Fool's prank."
If only, then all these people could stop getting mad at me on Instagram and TikTok. But also, it's just a bad logo, so suck it. Sorry.
Roasted.
Although, hey, they had the perfect opportunity to roll it back. Also, I saw a really good comment this morning on TikTok, I think. They're like,
Yeah?
terrible UX decision because they made the cans black and it's about to be summertime.
Ooh,
I didn't even think of that.
That's really interesting.
That's
That is
a
bad UX
terrible decision. It's going to be really hot, really fast. Awful. Awful.
You like warm Pepsi?
I just don't really like
I don't
Pepsi.
even like
There's a
Pepsi.
reason that their slogan is Pepsi okay in the real world. Not to their marketing purposes, but that's how everyone knows them, is
okay.
Pepsi okay? To which,
so
after
funny.
seeing their logo, I would say it doesn't seem like it.
I would say no, probably not.
Hugh says, I've got one joke about Elon buying AA, but I'm too afraid to say it. I'm assuming it's because he's buying Alcoholics Anonymous, but that's my guess. I don't know. Jacob says, they paid $5 million for that rebrand too. Yeah, it's, Ravi will make that amount in a couple years, probably. But hey, hats off to whoever convinced Pepsi to do that, I guess.
For
Proud
real.
of you.
I don't like the brand. I was looking a little bit more into it. I don't really like the brand expression either.
They just didn't do a great job.
Kind of old. You know what I mean?
It's like
It doesn't feel new.
it's like a 2013 sports brand or something.
It does. Yeah.
That's what it feels
It's
like.
not old enough to be retro, but it's not new enough to be interesting.
It's just
Sorry.
awkward. And it's not, they didn't even lean hard enough into the neo-brutalist thing. They towed the line too safe to where it just feels
they went
unfinished
too
and
safe.
awkward. I don't know.
It's what happens with like big corporations. It's just sometimes they go too safe, and you're like, this is so boring. I'm sorry.
It
Burger
happens.
King didn't go too safe. Burger King actually
They
did
sent
change.
it,
They sent it, and it is working out.
And it all fits together as one cohesive thing, Now, on that note,
Damn right.
some things that may or may not be cohesive. We'll crit some work in just a second. But
Quit some work in just a second.
Adinka says, or they say Y director in parentheses, so we'll use that. What happened to the Galaxy guidelines in their previous? I don't think they're using them anymore. If anyone has ever seen that brand doc, we'll go through it some other time. It's
so
just
fun.
peak like design education bullshit going on in there. Terrible like design thinking, overthinking garbage. It's a mess. Anyway, Olgerd says all animation techniques require different skills and experience, but the core of good animation is understanding how to create good motion, which is 12 principles. Also, 13th principle, being part of Ravi, but they don't tell you that one because Big Motion doesn't want you to know.
Incredible.
Also, how are you feeling about the new channel name? It's Ravi & Co now. It's not just my name anymore, if any of you even noticed at all. We were sitting there like worried about that decision. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Ravi.co because YouTube's like, that's a URL, you stinkheads. Are you trying to scam people? And we're like, no, can you just let us do it? And they're like, no URLs. And then we tried to do like Austin and Noah, and it said, already taken. And then we tried to do Ravi-co or something, and it was like, nope, not a chance. So here we are at Ravi & Co on the YouTube channel. Because it's Ravi and then the people here. That's the vibe. Anyway, want to crit some stuff?
I love it. I love it. Yes, I'd love to crit some stuff.
Wonderful.
What kind of stuff do you have for critting?
Val says, I didn't even notice. Cappy says, I didn't even notice. Tutu says, of course we noticed. So now I'm just getting mixed signals from chat. I don't know what to go with
Wow.
here. You will be so pleased that what we were submitted to have critiqued first today was dynamic opener Mogurt on Envato templates.
That's very interesting.
That's what we'll be critiquing. Also, if you want to get your work critiqued, because the list is running short, if you want to get your work critiqued, be sure to go open the description. There's a link there to submit your work, and we'll critique it. You can also, y'all, if you want to see other people's work critiqued, you can submit that too, if it's like from a studio or something.
Oh,
So,
yeah, that's true.
Just saying.
Just to roast something that you
We'll do it.
don't like. We'll do it.
There you go. Anyway,
Ralph
let's
says it's a good
review.
change. Oh my god.
Olgood says new channel name is not an April Fool. So we again mixed reactions here. That's okay. So loud. Ow. Ow my bones. Okay, here we are. Let's do it.
Audio Jungle.
Yeah, Audio Jungle.
Audio Jungle.
I know my thoughts off the bat, and it's pretty succinct.
It's
For
like the same.
something dynamic, all of these feel basically the same, and also for something trendy, this is some really slow, boring motion, my friends. This is unfortunate.
Those guys in the jackets kind of look mad to be there.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of like little flary things throughout the whole thing. And they're not like strong enough to be.
It just feels stock. Like that, it makes it feel more like Shutterstock or something, you know?
Like a super in your face effect. It's a little confusing. I don't hate it, but it's not really anything special to me.
Yeah, I don't hate it because it doesn't say anything. It's just kind of boring and slow.
I also not loving the music.
But that's just Audio Jungle as a whole. Sorry, Audio Jungle. But as you can see by people in the chat immediately calling out Audio Jungle, it is a bit of a meme at this point.
Audio Jungle.
So, I don't know.
I mean, even without the Audio Jungle thing,
It's still just...
It's the vibe. It's all excited and stuff, but the actual like footage and the emotion feels a little bit more, I guess, like editorial.
It's just... It feels like something that would be put together for like a... Which, hey, I mean, that might be what you want. It feels like big corporate social media is what this feels like. And that, to me, always feels like stock templates. So, I don't know. It just feels like something more could have been done. But also, it's a template, so it is what it is. Oh, I forgot we're not roasting right now.
Oh my
We're
god.
not critiquing. I'm
that's
so
like
sorry, everyone.
so-
I'm so sorry, everyone. God, this thing sucks. I'm kidding. I'm
Fucking
kidding.
do or
I'm
whatever.
kidding. I'm kidding. Nice monster out there, though. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's fine. It just does everything okay. It's not doing anything special. Boom roasted. That's it. That's it. That's all the time I'm spending on this one. All right.
All right, great.
This is a 3D model that someone put together for a character. It is not motion, but we will critique it as a 3D model nonetheless. The chromatic aberration is really intense
Just kind of going hard, man.
and not in a great way.
I don't love the lighting that you got going on. It's kind of.
It's too dark for me
land
to
on
see
the
with my
top.
sunglasses.
I know I had to look over them. The red and the blue are just kind of like there, and you can't see the more interesting part, which is the face. I would make the lighting more dramatic,
Yes.
personally.
Also, the chromatic aberration, I'm just be honest here, feels like you're trying to hide something. It feels like it's covering up
does.
imperfections in your design and does not scream confidence.
It doesn't seem like a terrible render, but it's not like.
I can't actually tell because most of it is like covered up by some sort of fringing or something else, you know?
The colors feel kind of all over the place. Like the actual mask itself feels very separate from the helmet.
I can't get any real detail in this mouth here, so it's like kind of hard to give
It's all blurred.
feedback on it. I like the imperfections and scratches on the metal though. I think that's fun. Helps make it feel more real. But
It is.
yeah, I mean, like Noah was saying, the main thing that would just make this look better is just like make more dramatic lighting on it. Give it some zhuzh, you know? Stylize that a little bit more.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And it would just feel a little more interesting. Also, if you're gonna showcase like something like this in a Behance project or something, give it multiple different angles or something. Behance isn't really a good platform for just putting like one image and that's it, you know?
Yeah, that's
Behance is
terrible.
usually for like case studies and larger projects and things.
Also, make the background the same color as like the background, or at least dark, so that
It's
not.
at least the right dimensions for the thing, you know, for the canvas.
I mean, you could just make the background in actual Behance at least darker, because it makes it kind of hard to look at when it's full of like white around this very dark image. It makes it kind of even harder to parse out those dark details.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. But yeah. Also, that's a big part of the reason why I haven't posted on Behance a whole lot. Like Sam, Imseti, and Will really like Behance projects. So I'm like, hey, do your thing. But I don't take the time to put together a whole Behance project. And that's why I'm no ordinary folk.
You're an extraordinary folk.
There, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've transcended. I don't. I would post a Behance project like this, personally. I just like, there's the work. That's it. Enjoy or don't. Whatever.
Enjoy or don't.
You don't. Nonetheless. Yeah, and if y'all are posting on Behance and you're not getting the sort of performance that you're looking for or views or whatever, it is probably because you're not putting enough context into the Behance project. Like, we can make long form content on YouTube because people go on YouTube to sit there and watch a video, you know? We couldn't do that on TikTok because it's just like you're trying to get on someone's For You page or whatever and not get scrolled past. But Behance, like most of the time people are like sitting down and they're going to look through for references or for hiring or whatever, you know? But anyway, there you go. Boom roasted.
Roasted.
Boom roasted.
I
Also,
would like to look at another.
don't you worry because here it is. Also, y'all queue up some spicy cues in the chat if you have them. Revi's doing all sorts of different stuff. We can talk. Noah, you and I we could live test the thing we were talking about for Discord here.
Oh yeah, I'd love to get you guys' opinions on
We could talk about that, or we can also talk about the games and stuff, just to like, I don't know. We can chat about it. Anyway, this is the last thing we're critiquing for today.
Gabby says that they try and put a lot of context behind the scenes, short gifs, and extra content in their Behance, but it still never pays off. Sometimes that's just Behance.
I think that's just a Behance-centric problem, is that it's not really great for like broad discovery. I think you kind of have to get struck by lightning or be at a big studio for it to really work well.
Really eye-catching stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's up.
All right.
With
Drop
your
fizz, drink your daily greens. Sorry, you want to try that again?
I don't know.
Okay, great. Great. All right, let's do it. Salad, anyone?
Boring. Say hello to full serving of greens and veggies.
Simply drop.
Fizz.
Oh,
that
okay.
looks good.
Uh-huh.
Yum.
Oh.
I'm glad you asked. Do nutrition the right way, all for your well-being. Loving nutrition picks the freshest produce from around the world. Okay? And brings them to you. Not you.
Was that cough in
not the
there?
dog. I think, yeah, it was. 39 healthy ingredients.
One tiny.
This tab that boosts immunity, rejuvenates skin, detoxifies them, and more. Oh.
It just keeps going, man.
More nutrition than you can consume. What? Wait, hold on. What was
It
the
just
last one?
keeps going, dude.
What was
I don't
the last
know.
one?
I don't know. It'll play. Holy
It's just
crap,
chilling,
dude. Holy crap, man.
Take it. I need you to skip to the more nutrition part.
Oh, I don't know where that is, man.
It's right towards the end, right before that. To get more nutrition than
You can consume. Well,
That is what
how
it
does
says.
that work? How are you supposed to
You'll never
eat
be able
it?
to have it all.
How are you supposed to eat it if you can't? Okay, all right, context. This person said it was their first brand film, all right?
That's pretty good.
So for your first brand film, here are some overarching things that I will say. I had to do the real mouse hover for this because this should have been like 30 seconds. If you're gonna pick a track that, I mean, I know a lot of people used to use these when like kinetic type videos were super popular because Apple, boo. Anyway, because those were super popular. If you're gonna have a little snap and crackle thing going the entire time, you gotta mix it up. It's the same thing over and over and over again for like a minute, you know? It's impossible to focus on what's happening at a certain point because you're just like, when is it gonna stop, you know? That being said, the type, it seems like there's like 3 or 4 presets for animating it, and it can feel very repetitive. It to where like at a certain point, I almost can't read it. I can read everything that's being said, but I can't really comprehend what's happening because there's just so much information for me to consume, you know? This is a prime example to people who might want to pay for motion design for their business. Please get a voiceover. It's okay to have type in your video, but please get a voiceover. It is, no one's gonna sit there and read type for a minute to 2 minutes. It's just not gonna happen. You could have split this video up into like 6 different 10 to 15 second ads and it would perform way better than the whole thing altogether.
You can make stories out of this.
Oh, 100%.
Instagram story ads. That's kind of what it is. I think that also the cough is.
It's really out of place. It does not
I see what
fit.
you're going for. It's not hitting.
Just doesn't hit. Yeah, I mean, straight up, nobody's gonna take the time to read all that in a normal context. It's just not gonna happen. And some of the copy, like what we already pointed out, is kind of detrimental to actually selling the product, I think. More nutrition than you can consume, like, I know what you're getting at, but it means, like, can I only eat half of the tablet? I don't understand, you know? The overall design is fine, except for points where you just introduce, like, that random yellow and kind of light blue. That feels kind of out of nowhere. But otherwise, like, the compositions and things are generally fine. I like how you treat some of the type and things, but the motion feels kind of linear. It's not really pulling me along. Some of these cuts are just kind of awkward. And it's like, yes, you're doing a match cut, but also not super well, to where it might have just been better to, like, on some of these things, just like cut to having multiple pieces, like one word in the center of the screen, and then you just cut to another word on the beat or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot to get into, but those are my top level things. What about you?
Yeah.
I gotta
said
stop
most of it.
the soundtrack.
Please.
I can't.
Focus.
I can't.
It's just so much. It's so much text, and a lot of the animation is not. It's not very modern, if that makes sense. Like the way the text is animated feels kind of slightly old. I like how you're doing. Also, turn off your motion blur. Thanks.
Yes.
I like how you're doing. Some of the copy can be kind of fun, kind of interesting. I see what you're going for with some of the things, like not you, dog, but it doesn't hit in the moment. This is why we're here, to tell you that.
Yep. That's why we're here for the boom roasting and all that.
Yeah, I would like some of your easing is just super linear as well.
Also, this composition is just awkward. It's just
It
the
is.
one's like kind of off center, and then the type is just sitting like way off to the side, to where the whole thing is
high.
just like weighted to the right for some reason, and I don't know.
Whole food nutrition turning into nothing synthetic is very confusing to me. Yeah,
Ooh,
I think that's
ooh,
mostly
ooh.
everything.
I see you're pre-comping, my friend.
Oh yeah, you noticed that too?
That spacing is not the same because you just pre-comped all this and did reptile or just moved it over. Messes up that grid. It's not even the same spacing in those bigger gaps. Like the left one is a little bit closer than the right.
Interesting. Hot tips. Okay. I
Hamsa
would say
says
that-
gives me Canva presentation vibes.
I guess a little. This animation is very strange to me.
It does not make it look
It's
appetizing.
very green and then it gets less green.
Like it's so saturated green at first it looks like a cleaner or something. It doesn't look like something you can eat or drink, you know?
Looks a little.
And then whenever it gets to kind of that like military green, it just looks like unappetizing. Like I could tell that I could drink it, but it just doesn't. I don't know. That's probably a spot where it'd be better to have some 3D or something so you just get like really pretty looking like green splashes or something like that. Or you're getting like a scene with like green liquid throughout the whole thing, but you're getting like bits of those vegetables like actually in it because like those all look more appetizing than just like mystery green juice. I don't know. It could be swamp water, could be algae, but it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's like just a place with photography. The photography would do pretty well.
Also, when it says boring at first, it looks like it's just gonna go boo.
I know, I love it. I don't know why how has so many W's at the end.
How?
Ooh, it's like a little. Ugh.
It just feels kind of like whiny, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there it is.
How? Also, places where it's choosing to have where like the video has all caps versus sentence case is a little inconsistent. Like I don't quite understand why some are all lowercase
good
over
point,
the
that's a good
other, you
point.
know? But yeah, like why is the randomly yellow and blue at this point? It was nowhere else. I don't understand. If you're gonna do that, at least like change the text color as well, because then it makes it feel like it's this different section, but it just kind of feels like, oh, okay, not much else to do right now, so we'll change the background color. I don't know.
More than you can consume, but exactly what you need.
Just a little, which you might not have written the copy for this, but I don't know. Whoever did this just kind of
Anyway.
confusing language. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, Valve also says nobody's gonna read all of that from an ad.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just not gonna
Very
happen.
long.
It's just so long. One more piece of feedback. You don't need to have these drop behind this type. It just feels kind of awkward. You could just have it like drop from underneath it or something, and then it like goes a little further down and comes back up or something like that. But it just feels kind of weird for like those going
Or
over
just, like,
top of
put
each
it in
other.
front of it, I guess.
Yeah.
It'd feel even better. It would just feel better.
Boom.
Hams does say pretty good for a first brand film. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what your general motion design experience is, but if this is
Oh
one of
my
your first
God.
projects. Whoa.
167,000 views. Only 3 comments though.
It's probably been pushed as an ad.
Probably, yeah. Well,
It's just so long though.
who knows how well the sales converted, but that's only for them to know, I guess.
I suppose so.
Boom roasted. There it is.
Roasted.
Boom roasted.
I'm taking these glasses. Oh.
I am as well. All right.
Glasses. Oh.
If anybody has questions, we'll answer those. Otherwise, let's talk about some things we're trying to develop real quick. And when I say develop, I don't mean like software. I just mean like create something.
We have a fun idea. We've been chatting about how to make the community even more poppin' than it even is, which is crazy.
Ways for everybody to engage with each other. And just to start this conversation off, none of this has any money involved. No, we don't want anybody to pay for anything or, you know, those sorts of things. So just get that out of your head. Go ahead.
Points. Review points. Like a
That's
sort of
workshopping the name, but
workshopping the name. We don't want it to like be very feeling like
microtransaction-y.
money.
Yeah.
That's kind of microtransaction-y and like gross. But basically, just you get like points from participating and stuff and hanging out in the server and that kind of stuff, and then you can spend it on cool things.
Like
Um,
I mean, getting 30 minutes to get a like one-on-one portfolio review with us, and I say one-on-one because we just it's two of us, but like those sorts of things, or coming on the show and getting boom roasted live, or those sorts of things, and there's a bunch of other stuff as well. It could be like merch or whatever, but like no actual money involved. It would just be like, as you chat more on the Ravi community server, you like accrue points or whatever, or if you're like in the chat here, or if you post to your social, like if you are actively posting your work or whatever. I don't know. We're still trying to figure out like all of the actual things that could get points and rewards for those points, but overall, I mean, it's kind of like Twitch channel points, like they each do their own things. Like, I don't know, you could use them on stream or whatever to like make confetti rain down or some other shit. I don't know, but basically just a way to like reward people who actually are spending the time in the community and hanging out and those sorts of things. Hamza says, "Review cat, please." Hey man, I know that's an in-demand item. That was like the face of the brand for a hot minute, was me wearing that hat. Cappy says, "Review underwear, please." Oh, dude, you already know. Don't you worry. We could have one where it's like top, like the biggest prize could be like the Ravi neon sign or something, and it's like up to 10 people can get that. Like whoever the first 10 people are to get that or something. And there's like cycling top rewards that change once that's been like fulfilled or whatever. I don't know.
It could be that like you never have to spend your points, but when you get like to milestones, you get little things.
Ooh.
And that way we can keep it as like also a point system for like keeping people on a leaderboard.
That's a good idea.
And then you can
do you want to talk
limit
about
them to
what do you want
to be just gotten in challenges, which is something that we are very interested in doing, especially on the lovely Daily Motion show.
Yeah. Which
we have some really cool ideas.
We do. And we can talk about those in a second. But Lucas is obviously an NFT for my VR gallery. Yeah.
Definitely.
Love that. Look, says 5-panel cat, please. Okay. Danny says custom Discord role would be cool. That could be fun. I mean, it would, like, there's all sorts of just fun things that we could do with that. Like, people could win them, like, they just accrue them. I like the idea of not actually having to spend them, but, like, as you get to milestones, then you get it.
Yeah.
I think that's more fun, because then you can really see, like, who's getting it. But you could be able to spend them in, like, the wager stuff we were talking about with, like, challenges or competitions or something.
I'd like the idea of being able to, like, bet them.
So,
honestly. Gambling.
Here's an idea that we've got that we think could be fun outside of like the normal community challenges that we do. Picture this. All right. So Val says, Austin, goodnight ASMR. Believe me, that'll be the lowest barrier, 1 point, and you get goodnight ASMR from me. Anyway, so okay, picture this. You get, we get 16 people, 8 to 16 people to sign up for a challenge that would happen on the Daily Motion show every Friday or at some day of the week other than Wednesdays, because Wednesdays are guest days, right? Anyway, and so what would happen is it's essentially just a bracket tournament. We would give everybody a prompt for that day for like the 16 people or whatever, and then everybody animates to that prompt in a certain amount of time and whatever. And sort of battle royale style, like it's this person matched up against this person and this person matched whatever. And then whoever wins out of those groups would advance. And so that next stream would be the winners from the previous stream. Until we eventually get down to a 1v1 and those people are left, and whoever wins that is like grand champion for that month or something, and gets some amount of prizes or like extra review points or whatever. But we could have it to where people would put in like 50 of their review points or whatever, so that it's like this prize pool, and whoever ends up winning gets like the whole pot or something like that.
Yeah.
Could be fun. But like live design challenges with people from the community, and I mean people from the review community, but also like motion design community. Like we could get some of our guests to join in on it, or like be guest judges or whatever. There's so many opportunities with that, you know. Could be super fun, but that would be like in conjunction to just like the normal like team collaborative review challenges and stuff that we would do. Like those are the more like
yeah, of course points would be awarded for winners and even participants in that one.
right. Val says design royale by Sesso but by RV. Except like
Cooler, dare I say?
more stakes, and it'd be like a live thing. Well, shit. Literally anything I say sounds bad, so I'm gonna just shut up. But
It's gonna be great.
it'll be good.
Time.
You know, we can bring in more people from the community pretty easily, and it'd be fun. It'd be a good time.
And there's even like potential to be able to have it sort of asynchronous, where we have the challenge and we just go through the brackets on stream.
Right.
And then it could last like a month, and that could just be another little segment that we have to like look at that kind of work and be like,
Like,
"All right,
let's chicken
who's
on the
winning
leaderboard."
here?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this person is advancing to the next round. It'd be just a good time.
Yeah. It'd be
Gee
fun.
dang, I'm excited about this stuff.
It'd be fun. And aside from that, I mean, like, we have like 6 different review series that we're filming at the same time. And they are so fun. One that we started filming last Friday, but that we haven't actually started animating on, is we're going to call it After Effects Auction. And now if I see any of y'all posting this, I know where you got it from, since we're shouting it into the world or whatever. But essentially, like, every single tool, effect, or panel within After Effects has like a dollar amount assigned to it. And so you get a starter kit of like, you can use position, scale, rotation, whatever. But if you want the move tool, you have to start bidding on it. And whoever wins that bid gets to use the move tool for the next rounds, and nobody else gets to use it. None of the other contestants have access to the move tool. So like, I don't know. You'll see what happens in the actual video, but it's going to make some ridiculous things happen animation-wise. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, right now, none of us have the move tool when we have to animate.
That's right. None of us have the move
Not
tool.
a single one of us who are on that video has the move tool, and we're gonna have to figure out when we can film the actual like remainder of that challenge. But it'll be fun. We've got like 5 other games that we're trying to do, and it's gonna be a fun time. So
We're doing the most.
there's all that. We're really out here just having a fun time.
Well, Austin, we got about 10 minutes left. Would you like to wreck some? I mean, yeah, wreck
Yes.
some work.
Yes. Tutu says, random question. Potential big client already has 2 videos made in a not so great style and wants to keep it for the 3rd video. What do? You can't really do a whole lot, to be honest.
If you already,
if they want
did
what
you
they
already make
want,
the 2
then
videos?
if they want what they want, that's kind of it. You can, if you were the one that worked with them before, or you think that they have a lot of trust in you or whatever, you can suggest a style change or something, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's their decision. So I wouldn't push too hard on it. In the past, when we've really been frustrated with a style or something, we might have pushed like once or twice, and that's it. But if they want what they want, that's kind of it, you know? There's a saying for a project for the reel and a project for the pocket, you know? Like, some things are just good money makers. That's
Yeah.
it.
You
Get
can
that
also
bag.
like kind of understand why they like what it is, and then that could be a good place to move from. Especially if like maybe they like a part of the style that you like, but they don't like the overall, like the whole style is not what they necessarily love. And so you can find out what part they do love and take that and be like, well, all right, what if we incorporate that into this? And I feel like this fits your brand better or something like that. You know, that might be a good way to go about it.
Yeah.
But overall, people are right. You can just make your bag and forget about it.
Yep. Doesn't really matter. Oh, there you go. Newsby says 1 for the meal, 1 for the reel. I was almost there.
You were doing great.
I was almost there. But yeah, let's go for, or he says you take it for the money, you don't take it since you can't use it anywhere. I mean, man, if you're making work because you feel like you have to put it on your portfolio, then you're already setting yourself up to have a hard time because you're going to be playing tug of war with the client. If they make a decision that you don't like, you're going to be extra butthurt about it because you're like, well, now my portfolio is going to look bad. So just don't put it on your portfolio. I mean, that's how it is for just some projects just kind of suck, but they have good money to them, and you just got to do what you got to do, you know? It happens. And on that note, here is my singular rec for the day.
You got one rec?
Got one rec. It's one that
I
people
love the text here.
should recognize. All right. This is back from when Valorant was first announced and Studio Worship put together those initial Valorant titles, and we all know, and they're just
Love.
a great time. Like, it just feels so oomph, man. They really built that brand, you know? They really built that brand so well. It's just also the sound. Come on. Like, that really is, it sells the whole thing. It's great.
That's a banger.
So there's mine. Oldie but a goodie. It's like 3 years old now, but it's still great.
It's fantastic. All right, I got a cute one. I got a cute two, actually. Do-do-do.
Fab. Let me grab your screen share. And yeah. That
Do-do-do.
being
Do-do.
reverse.
Nice little pipe for you.
What's up, Kai? Good to see you, dude. Ooh. Yum.
Love some little flowy things, you know what I mean?
I know what
This
you
one's
mean.
a little slower paced.
What up, Eduardo? Good to see ya.
The sound is really having a good time on this one.
It is. Hanging. It's just like, why is that line there? Who knows? But it's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. It like anchors it in a way. That was it. It's just a good time. It's a good little project spiral.
That's a goodie.
And I got one more. I feel like this is very topical.
Oh, wait a second. That's not a new logo. What the hell?
Pepsi ad, and it's freaking. They also still had black cans for some reason. Anyway, check it out.
Those got to be some practical shots in there. I think that's all
probably a
practical.
mix. With the- That's pretty fun.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty fun.
That was pretty fun, man.
Like the type on that.
I like that there's no silly peas in the logo. That really sold it for me. I'm gonna go buy some
Yeah, I
Pepsi
love that.
right now. It'd be great.
And of course, that was done by Buck.
Of course.
Yeah.
They just do like everything, man. Like Buck is the one that will be hardest every time if we do that game again where you have me guess who made what. That'll be it.
Yeah,
because
Buck
they just
is
make
the
everything.
hardest. They do. They just make so much.
You just can't tell unless it's like a real well-known one or something, you know?
Yeah. I'm excited to do that. Again. That was really fun.
No,
I'm gonna make it much harder next time.
because I'm just too good, you know?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of test it out, kind of test the waters on how well you know stuff.
Yeah,
Turns out you
gotta.
know stuff.
Turns out
You
I
know
know some
some things
things. I
pretty
know a
all right.
thing or two.
So you
Just
about to
wanted
get
to.
roasted.
Fab. I'm ready.
All right.
On that note, that's the show.
That's the show, y'all. That's the
Y'all know
show.
what
Thanks
you
so
gotta
much for coming and hanging
do.
out with us on Monday.
Uh,
That's right. You do know what you have to
Lovely
do. You have to
Monday.
submit your work down in the description below to get your work critted,
Roasted.
roasted,
Yeah.
and use hashtag Daily Motion Show on social media to perhaps get it wrecked.
Booyah.
That's it. Join the Discord. Hang out. What's up? We're
Fab.
gonna be doing cool stuff in there soon. You just heard about it.